Amazing. Good morning, another day, another dollar deeper in debt. So let's do some more functional movement. Let's see what happens today. Let's spice it up a little bit. So if you come down onto all fours, shoulders over your hands, knees under your hips, and then just start making some big circles over your hands. Just press into the knuckles. Just kind of roll the hips, the spine, get some freedom into the joints. This beautiful quarantine community is just growing day by day. It's reaching out to all four corners of the globe, which is so amazing. I feel so grateful and blessed to be able to deliver this. Okay, let's open the connective tissue on the palms, so onto the fingertips. Push down into the knuckles. Get a stretch. And then just roll out the fingers. And just feel the connective tissue in the joint, the knuckles, palm opening. Yeah, go onto your fists, and then just do some wrist rocks. Nice, and then just open the hand. So the fingers face towards each other on the backs of the hands or the tops. And then gently roll up your fingers and open up the carpals. If you're struggling to straighten your arm, then you can maybe do like a little bend and then just push the arm straight and release. Really gentle. Good, and then open the hand the other way. So heel of the hand under the shoulders, knees behind the hip. And then we start doing some heel of hand push-ups. So make sure there's some weight in your hand. And do anywhere between 10 and 15. Good. And then fingertips to knees. And then gently pull the shoulder backwards over the fingertips. So you start to stretch out the extensors of the forearm. Good. Turn the hands around so the fingers face forward. Okay, now let's start with some shoulder shrugs. So just start to retract and protract in the shoulder. Try and get the scapula moving across the back. Try and keep the arm as straight as you can. And then you'll just feel the range of motion that you can access in the shoulder as you start to peel the muscles away from the spine. And then that can move into cat and cow. So as you push the floor away from you, flex the spine, look into the belly and tuck the bum. And as you retract in the shoulder, you flare the ribs, extend the spine, stick out your bum, look up, and keep going. So really try and over-exaggerate these two key actions. Good. And then just spiral the spine and circle the hips and shoulders any way that you want. So it's almost like cat and cow, but now you're actually just rolling the shoulders and the hips in circles. Yeah, okay, let's warm up the shoulders and spine. So come into child's pose, toes touch, knees as wide as the hips, hands as wide as the shoulders. And then come up onto all fours. As the shoulders come above the hand, leave the elbow above the wrist and just bend the arm so the shoulders come forwards. Slowly lower down to the floor. And then just push into the hand and gently extend your spine. And down. Lift your bum and then push onto heel. Into child's pose, flex the spine. Up onto all fours. And again, control the negative press. Get elbow stays above the wrist. Nice slow centric contraction to the floor. Slightly deeper into cobra, tuck your bum. Flare the rib, pull the shoulders back and down. Push back bum to heel. And again, up onto all fours. Slow negative press. Tuck the bum, fire up the glutes. Now start working the muscles up the center of the spine. and down. Push back, bump to heels. One more. Come up into flexion, neutral spine, and as you do the eccentric press, nice deep cobra. Pull the shoulders back, lift the chin, and push back, bump to heel, tuck your toes, lift your hips into downward dog. Walk out your legs, so really strong, powerful down dog. Try and free up the posterior line of the body. So roll the hips, the knees, drive the heel into the floor. And then step your left foot forward, right knee down. A nice gentle crescent moon lunge, so sink the hip, tuck your bum, squeeze the glute. And as you extend the spine, elevate the shoulder, reach up out to the fingertips. And if that's comfortable, bring the hand over the opposite shoulder. Feel side stretch. And then you can just circle back and round, so the hand comes over the right shoulder. And then again, hand over the opposite shoulder. And then back down, hand to floor. Tuck back toe, lift the knee. Left hand lifts, nice internal twist. Super strong back leg, the heel comes towards the centre line. And then the left hand comes to the inside. Left knee to shoulder, right hand is lifting, hips as high as the knee. Okay, and then another revolving internal twist. So the right hand comes down to catch the ankle. Elbows to floor, lift up the back heel. And then if you can, lift the left hand, left knee tucks into the chest. And then maybe you can just rock backwards and forwards on the ball of the foot. And then see if your left elbow will come to the floor. So ideally the elbows want to be in the line of your ankle and the ankle is underneath the knee. And if that's comfy, you can lift up the back knee, tuck the toe, and then again just rock backwards and forwards or just do some really gentle circles with the hip. Right into the belly of the hip, the hamstring and the quad. Nice, hands to the floor, step back into downward dog, walk out the legs. And then the right foot steps forward, left knee to floor. Again, sink to a nice crescent moon lunge. So as the hip sinks, tuck your bum, squeeze the glute. Extend your spine, elevate the shoulder. And then again, bring the hand over the opposite shoulder so you just feel the side leg. And then you can almost circle the hand from one shoulder, going over to the other. And as you do that, you just work a little bit deeper into the intercostals. Good, left hand to floor, tuck toe, lift the back knee. Right hand is lifting. Again, really strong in your back leg, the heel kind of turns towards the centre line so you ground the ball of the foot. And then the right hand comes to the floor on the inside, right knee to shoulder, left heel to floor, left hand is lifting. Tuck your bum, suck in your ribs. And left hand catches the ankle. See if you can get your elbow to floor, lift up the left heel. Right knee tucks in tight as the right hand lifts. Again, if that's comfy, you can just gently rock backwards and forwards on the ball of the foot. Encourage the hips to open. And then the elbows to floor. Again, it's that inside elbow which is a little bit tight to get down. And then here again, you can circle the ball of the foot, so the hips are just making some really nice gentle circles. Good, hands to the floor, step back into downward dog. And then come into a nice flat spot. So a nice plank. So hands are under your shoulders, feet are as wide as the hips. Tuck your bum, suck in the ribs, and then we'll do anywhere between like 7 and 10 shoulder shrugs. So Don't bend the arms, retract. And a big push away from the floor as you protract. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can either now do a complete negative press, or you put your knees down on the floor. And then just gently slow the chest down, so the eccentric contraction. Again, it's going to give you the positive push. Nice, now open your arms. So make sure there's a straight line from hand to hand through the shoulder. Chin stays on the floor. Now we do scapular retraction. So you lift the hands up and down. Good, so anywhere again between like 7 and 10. Try to make sure the hand goes directly up and not back. Good. Okay, keep the hips on the floor. Now lift your right leg, don't bend it. And down. Now lift up the left leg, don't bend it. And down. Good. Forearms to the floor, come into a sphinx. So the elbows are under the shoulders. Tuck your toe. And then lift the hip. So you're now into a flat spot on your forearm, like a forearm plank. So again, we're going to do 10 shoulder shrugs. So you lower down, and then big push. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Hips to the floor. Okay, tuck your bum, squeeze the glute. You can leave the hands where they are. Now just extend your spine and try and bring the chest away from the belly button, so you're creating space in your lower back. And then lift up and out of your shoulders. And as you do that, squeeze the glute and feel the muscles up the centre of the spine firing up. So the spinal erectus and then the lower portion of the trapezius. Good, then lie down. Open the arms. Again, let's work the rhomboids in between the scapulars. So anywhere between 7 and 10 arm raises. Again, the hands go directly up, they don't wing backwards. And this is really healthy for your upper spine. Good. Again, back into your forearms here. Now, interlace your fingers here. Tuck your toe and lift your hips. Good. Now what I want you to do is go on to tiptoes and put your chest on your fingers and push back. So again, you come forwards on some tippy toes. You nearly lay down on the floor, not quite, and back. So your thumbs each time will just come to the base of your neck, and your shoulders are coming down level with your hands. Good. 3 more. Nice, and lay down. Good. Cross your hands under your chin. Lift up the right leg, don't bend it. Keep the hips on the floor. And then you're going to feel the hamstring, the glute, and the lower spine firing up. And down. Left leg lifts, don't bend it. Good. Okay, now come into a forearm plank with your arms crossed, like so. And then tuck toe and lift. So you're here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to extend the right hand out to the side and put it back. When you move the hand, the shoulders don't roll. And here. And again, right hand to the side. And you should feel that going diagonally through your core. So you're trying to stabilize the hip and the shoulder as you move the arm. So you see my shoulders aren't rolling, or my hips. Good. and down. Open the arms. Last time for the rhomboids in between the scapulars. So anywhere between 7 and 10. Good. Cross your hands under your chin. Lift up both legs, don't bend them. Good, and then tuck your bum, squeeze the glutes. And you're going to feel that stabilising your lower back. And down. Good, your elbows underneath your shoulders again. Then push into the palm. As you push into the palm, tuck your bum, squeeze the glutes and lift. Good, so really tall in the spine. Try and create space in the lower back. And then see if you can stabilise your spine. Just put your right hand behind and catch the hamstring. And now, change hands. Again, so here you don't want to allow one of the shoulders to drop. And good. Lay down, hands under your shoulders. Now do a nice upward dog. So your spine should now feel quite peachy. So then bum on the heels. And then just rock the hips gently from side to side. So your rib cage just press into the spine. That's like a really gentle sacral massage. Good, then up onto all fours. Come and lay down on the floor. Now come into cobra, so keep your belly button on the floor. So tuck the bum, squeeze the glute, fire up muscles on the spine, try and lock in that height, and then the hands go behind. Yeah. And push to an upward dog. So, knees are lifted, bum tucks, glutes are strong, shoulders are deep pressed, shoulders are retracted, and your chin lifts. Good, then bum to heel. Again, just release the sacral area, the lower back. Good. Okay, then come and lie down on the side. So a side plank on your forearm, make sure the left elbow is under the shoulder. The right foot is behind the left foot, big toe touches the heel. Then lift the hip. Place your hand behind your head. And then you want to tap your elbow to your fingertips. So we do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice, change sides. Then you're on the right forearm. So if you're on your right forearm, the left foot is behind the right foot. And again, left heel bow up. And then you want to roll down, tap, and lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. So back into a forearm plank again, but this side on your left. So elbow under the shoulder. Now just put the feet on top of each other and come into a side plank here. Good, so your right arm extends. Now your right elbow touches your right knee here. And then back. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, change sides. So again, right elbow under the shoulder, feet on top of each other. So I should really say anywhere between 5 and 10 is good. So left arm extends, right leg is locked, then left elbow to left knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay, left side again. Last one. This time, top foot goes in front and you're here. hips are going forward, and then you just tap your hip to the floor, and lift. Yeah, tap, and lift. So again, anywhere between 5 and 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Roll to the other side. Again, the left foot is now in front of the right foot. Hips are flat. 10 hip taps. Again, you want to think about sliding the hip almost down 2 panes of glass, so the hips stay flat. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Amazing. Arm on your heels. Child pose. Again, you can almost kind of rock the hip from side to side. Good, then slide the hands forward so that your bum is now above the knee. Keep the hands at shoulder width, try and keep the arms straight. And then put the shoulders into a deep flexion as you pull the shoulder down towards the floor. Amazing, tuck toe, lift hip. Into a nice strong down dog again. And then you can walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. And then just come into a forward fold of the hip. Again, just going to try and free up the posterior line of the body. So you could almost do like a power walk, whilst at the same time rolling the hip and the spine. So again, this is really nice to free up the sacral area of the lower back. The hamstrings, the spine, you can look into the belly. Release the head, look up into the belly again. And then roll to stand. Amazing. Shoulders down. So let's do standing cat and cow. Feet to hip width. Bend your knees. Stick out your bum as much as you can and flare the ribs. And then pull the shoulders back. And then push the hands back. And then look up. And then for the first cat, keep the knees bent, tuck the bum, flex the spine, push the hands forward. And almost like power your hands forward, pulse them. And as you do that, you're going to feel the trapezes peeling away from your spine and all the intercostals, just releasing. And then again, you can go back into cow. And again, just find a nice flow from cat and cow. Good, and then that can turn into some spinal waves. So you bend the knee, push the knee and the hip forward, and then just roll out your spine. Play around with the spine so you can do some kind of tight little waves, or really drive the hip forward and get some nice big drop backs in the spine. Good, put your hands on the hips, feet to hip width. Tuck your bum, so posterior tilt, and just feel the glutes firing up. Push the hip forward. Lift the chest as high as you can, and as you pull the shoulders back, just extend your spine gently. And then draw the head back, and look back. And release. Go down into a squat. Okay, here just kind of flex your spine, try and get your elbows down, free up your lower back and just rock from side to side. Kind of drive a knee forward and then release, play with your feet. If the heels aren't touching the floor, then put a block under the heel. Good, then catch an ankle. Same ankle as the knee, the other hand. And then just begin to start opening up the hip. Cossack time. Good, change sides. Catch the ankle, catch the knee. And again, just gently push away. And really encourage the hips to open, so if it's not moving, move it as much as it can and make sure you pull the knee back in again. Good, change sides again, so catch the ankle. Now see if you can get the elbows to the floor, or as close to as possible. and then try and put the forearm on the floor, and then release up into a big thoracic twist, and then drop back down again. So 4 and 5. Good, change sides, catch the ankle, elbows to floor, and then see if we can get that forearm down, and then a big lift and twist. Good, okay. From squat, you want to push your right knee diagonally out to the side, and then you sit the sit bone on the heel, then pull the other knee back, lean back, and then elevate the shoulder and reach and release the squat. Left knee, push diagonally out, pull the other knee back, lean back and reach. Good. 2 or 3 seconds again. More of a connective tissue release as opposed to like a muscular stretch. Good, one more each side. Nice, that's that. Okay, on your feet about 1 meter. Toes turning out. Sink the hip as high as the knee. Hands on your knees, just hang. So have your body weight hanging through your shoulders, so the weight goes into the hands and you push the knees wide. Then just gently rock from side to side. Push your knee towards the big toe. And if you want, even circle the knees, so you're doing these little like figure of 8s with the knees. Good, then push wide. And then make a thoracic twist, and as you do that, bend an arm and roll a shoulder down. When you get that shoulder, try and wrap it as low as you can. And then you're going to hit the lower back. And then release. One arm bends, twist. Roll that shoulder down. See if you can get the shoulder as high as the knee. And then look over the opposite shoulder. And release. And again. Delicious. One more. Good. Okay, warm up the inner thigh, glute. So from here, hands on the hip. Bend the knee. Push the knee in the direction of the big toes. Sink the hip as high as the knee, and then tuck the palm, suck in the ribs, and push. So try and push through your glutes. Even though you're going to feel the quads firing up, see if you can use the glute and the hamstring to push first. So anywhere between 10 and 15. Five more if you want. Good, one more, and down. Now put an elbow on the knee, hand on the other. Push them away from each other. Just feel the inner thigh opening. And then again, with the straight arm, roll it down. Good, and release. Elbow to one knee, hand to the other. Again, roll that shoulder down. Good, and release. Okay, so instead of doing Cossack squats, we're going to just work pure resistance. So open your feet to the distance of your fingertips, hands on your hips, bend the knees, and then I don't want you to straighten the leg, but just push to one side. So the knee is going in the direction of the big toe, but the other leg doesn't quite straighten. And then back. So you're trying to glide the hip at the height of the knee, so the hip is gliding parallel to the floor. And you're constantly keeping the resistance in the glute, hamstring and quad. Just gently pulse from side to side. And then start pulsing your way back up. Good, and just stand with a straight leg. Maybe just shake the legs, allow the lactic acids to release. And then down again. Hip as high as the knee. Now as you push a knee to the big toe, straighten the other leg completely. Glide across. Yeah. So the feet stay flat on the floor. You're just gliding the hip at the same height. The knee goes in the direction of the big toe. Yeah. And then find like this really gentle flow from side to side. And then as that little burning sensation builds up, just gently push through. And then back up to stand. Good, shake your legs. Good, one more. So again, you come down. This time, as you push to one side and you straighten the leg, I want you to pick up the toe and turn the heel, so the toe up. Flatten the foot. Here. So the knee goes in the direction of the big toe, the other toe lifts, and you turn the toe up to the ceiling. And that way you're going to encourage the hip to open while stabilizing. And then push to stand. And pat the legs. Good. Okay, so depending on what your knees and hips are like, maybe you do that again, or you drop into a Cossack here. Maybe you've got your hands full because the heel doesn't touch the floor, or if you've got funky knees, then just do the previous exercise. Now try and keep the hip under the knee and just glide from side to side. So I've got like all kinds of things popping and releasing, and it feels amazing. Good, now go to one side. You can either hang out here in a Cossack, or you can put your bum on the floor, and then allow the left hip to internally rotate if you lay the knee down, then left. Then push the hands forward, bum up. Change sides again. Gently lower the bum down, knee to floor, knee left, hands forward, push. Good, so that's working deep into the hip. And again. And then just slide yourself now open to a mid split. So again, mid split, your toes and your knees are facing up. Really important, you lift the kneecaps, like activate the quad, and you're almost squeezing the heel down. And then you drive the heels out. If this is going into the knee, like on the underside or the inside, the medial part of the knee, then you've gone too deep. Yeah, you don't want to feel this in the joints. And then from here you can put your forearms down, you go to like a pancake. So now the toe faces forward. The flat of the foot goes onto the floor. You apply pressure into the feet, so it's almost like you're trying to lift up your body. And again, you've gone into the knee, the inside, the medial part of the knee, you've gone too deep. And then bum to floor. Okay, just sit in a nice comfy straddle again. If you can't sit comfy, put a block or cushion under your hips. And then some freedom in the spine. So almost play dance with the spine. Shoulder to knee. Big circles with the chest over the hips. Just move around. You can extend and flex the spine. Pulse it, don't be aggressive, be super soft with the spine, but just allow that freedom of movement. Big circles, sweep from side to side. Nice, okay. Hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Make sure you can push the knee down and lock the quad. Tuck in the ribs. And then see where your elbow comes to. So you can do one of three things. You can put the elbow on the knee, you can put the elbow on the shin bone, or you can put the elbow on the floor behind the leg and lift. So either of those three works well. And do anywhere between 10 and 20, so 5 to 10 each side, whatever feels good. Just make sure that as you lower the elbow to the knee or the floor, that you really activate the leg on the way down. This will give you a great flag if you ever want to do one. Good. Put your hands on your hips. Retract your shoulders, so pull the shoulders back. Strong leg, lift the chin. And then gently lower down halfway and hold. So here think about extending out through the crown, long spine. Knees are pushing down hard into the floor, and then lift. And again, hinge forward. Pull the shoulders back, lift the chin. Good, so the first thing that we want to touch the floor is your belly. And if the belly touches the floor, try and lift the chest up and pull the shoulders back. And lift. And again. Good. Raise your hands up. So hands at shoulder width. Try and keep them at shoulder width. Strong leg, point toe, and then flag down all the way. And when you touch the toe, the hands are still parallel with the shoulders and lift. So again here, anywhere between 5 and 10 each side. Maybe you need to build the strength up in the obliques and the openness to do 20. It's all progressive. Good. Okay, slide your hands down your legs, see where they come to. And then hinge forward for a nice pancake. So again, point toe, lock knee, push the knee down hard, really feel the quads firing up. Push the heel into the floor, and then try and lengthen your spine as much as you can. If you can lay down flat, then maybe just feel like the belly and the chest are hovering off the floor, and lengthen again through the crown, so you get that real deep hinge at the hip. And left. Good. Left hand, slide it down the right leg. Find the sweet spot. Right hand to the outside. And then as you push into the right hand, you want to ground that left sit bone. And ideally you want to get your left elbows to the floor. And if you've got a deep enough side stretch, you can lay that shoulder down. Good, and release. Change sides. So right hand, slide down the left leg. Again, find the sweet spot. Left hand is pushing your right sit bone down. And then again, you want to see if you can get the elbows to the floor and the shoulder. Good, and release. Okay, pick up your knees. Bring your feet closer together, hands behind. Now just roll a knee into a foot. So again, this is more like a hip release. The femurs are internally and externally rotating simultaneously. If that's comfy, then just sit and do it without your hands. Good. Okay, now open the knee and the foot. Here, so the distance between the heel is the length of your femur. Face the front, and then lift the knees together. And then lay them down. As the knees land, you've still got that space between the heel and the knee. Good. So again, slightly deeper hip release. Good. Then as you lay the outside knee down, open the arms, lay down on your knee, and lift. Open. And down. Good. Okay. Give yourself a hug. Knees into your chest. And then I do believe it's time for the modified favourite 5. So this has come into a dish which should look something like so. So you always want to think about a posterior pelvic tilt, like arms tucked, ribs are in, and lower back touches the floor. And then let's touch toes 10 times. Yeah, hand behind. Knee into a hip. So today we're going to mix these with some glute and spine work in between each set. So then the feet are just here, hands behind the shoulders. And then you tuck the bum and lift the hip as high as the knee. As you do that, you tuck the bum, posterior tilt, and then pull the shoulder back and lift the chest and drop the head back. And then as you lower the bum to the floor, the shoulders and the spine roll into flexion. And then lift. Yeah, let's do 10. Good. Okay, now we're going to do straddle tucks. So now you're going to come into a dish with the feet open here. Yeah, so you've got like a metre space between the feet. And then, as you start to tuck, you come to here. And down. Good. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Hands behind. First, just release the hip and the flexor. So roll your knee into your foot. Good. And then lift the hip 10 times. So as you lift, you tuck the bum, squeeze the glute, pull the shoulders back, and then release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay. Single leg work. So let's do active release first of the hamstring. Catch the foot, pull the heel to the bum, knee to the chest. Then slowly extend the leg. Then go into your maximum range of motion. Try and lock the leg, hold for 2, and then release. Pull the heel to the bum, knee to the chest. Again, push, lock and hold. And release. And again, 3. And release. Last one. Lock and hold. Good. Now compress. Put the hands at the side. Good. So lower the heel. And then lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Catch the foot. And then stretch. Good. Release. Left leg, active stretch to the hamstring. So heel to bum, knee to chest. And then point and lock the leg. Deepest stretch you can get. And then release. Again, that's more like active release. Hold. And release. Number 3. Push and lock. And release. One more. Okay, lock it in and hold. Hands to the side. And then tap the heel and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Catch your foot and then stretch. Good. Okay. Alternate pike up. So you lay flat. Lift, touch the right toe. Lie down, left touch to left. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Hands behind. Bend your knees. Knee into a foot. Again, as you put the knee into the foot, you could almost push the hip slightly forward. Okay, then sit on your bum. So here, straighten your right leg here. Good, so the knees stay level. As you lift the hip, the extended leg goes parallel to the floor. There. And now, 1, 2, 3, 4, one more, 5. Good, down. So again, left leg, lock it, knees stay level, and then lift the hip, right glute fires up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, good. Okay. Catch toes. Just find your seat here. And then pop your knees together with the bent leg. And then find your point of flexibility. So anywhere from a bent leg to a straight leg to a pointed toe, doesn't matter. Then I want you to hold just the left leg without the right leg moving. There. Good. Now lower the right leg down slowly. And lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Catch the toe of the right or the foot. Change over, so now the left leg is free. Find your seat. So we're using up these fine stabilizers of your core. And then left leg down and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Feet down. Hands behind. Bum comes slightly forward. Tuck your bum so you roll off the sit bones more towards the sacrum. Then you want to roll the shoulder forward and you want to tuck in your ribs and flex the spine. Then you go on to point, pull the knee in, and then lock and compress. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and hold. Good. Now bring your hands forward. Here. Nice. So compress deep. So same thing again, the knees don't move, but now you bend the knee and you tap. Lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Amazing. Good. Hands behind. Again, roll a knee into a foot. Drive the hip forward. Just try and release the flexor a little bit. Cool. Okay, again. Catch your toes. Come into that previous position again. Find your point here. So now we do the V up. So again, you want to try and stabilize here, and then you lay down. And ideally, you want to be able to touch your toe with either a straight or a bent leg. So we do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Hands behind. Okay, so now put your right ankle on top of your left knee. Here. And then flex the ankle and lock the ankle in with a deep flexion to it. So you can feel like the flat of the side of the foot on top of the knee. And then you lift the hip. And as you lift the hip, push the knee down and release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, change. So left ankle on top of the right knee. Flex the ankle That'll just give the knee some stability. And then again, lift. As you lift the hip, push the knee down and release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, and down. Knee into your feet, just roll the hips. Good, okay, again, slide the bum a little bit further forwards. Roll the shoulders in, flex the spine, suck in the ribs. Now open your legs to here. Point toe, and then we do straddle compression. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and down. Knee into a foot, hip forward. Going to start hitting the flexors just a little bit now. Good, okay, catch your toes. Knee under the elbow, here. And then again, you want to find your point of flexibility. So again, anywhere from a bent leg to a straight leg is really good. Okay, so when we let go of the feet, you want to try and hold the straddle V in a compression here. Good, and then we do exactly the same thing. We tap. Yeah, and lift. Tap. So what's important is you don't lose your ribs. The ribs stay tucked in. The bum stays tucked. And then you compress quad, flexor, psoas, core. One more. Beautiful. And down. Hands behind. Knee into a foot. Drive the hip forward. Okay, catch your toes again. Pop your knees under your elbows again. Here is good with a bent leg, or if you do have the flexibility, you go straight. If that's good, point your toes here. So from here we lay down into a dish, and then we come back up into this position. So we come down, dish, and then as you sit, you try and get the elbow inside the knee. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And here. Knee into a foot. Good. Okay, now lie down on your back with your feet about 1/2 meter away from your butt. And then you want to lift your toes so you're on the heel. Then pull in the shoulder blades so you're on the posterior part of the shoulder. And then tuck the bum and lift the hip up. Good, so you're pushing into the heel hard. You're tucking your bum and squeezing the glute tight. Good, now apply a lot of pressure into the left heel. Don't let the hip drop and lift up the right foot. Good, put the right heel on the floor. And then the left, lift. Push hard into the right heel. And down. Good, back onto your hands. And here. Okay, catch the outside of the right foot. Get the knee, pull the knee back here. Good, then again straighten. And pull back. Straighten. Pull back, and if you want, turn out. And back in. Good, lean back on the right hand, catch your left foot. Straighten the leg. And pull the knee back. And release. Pull back. And release. One more. Pull. If you want, open. and back in. Good, okay. Now I want you to lie down, catch your right knee, pull the heel to the bum, and then pull the right knee to the chest, and see if you can put your right shoulder on your knee, and then touch your chin with your knee. Yeah. Now lift up your left toe as high as the other toe there. Good. Now try and contain that connection between the chest and your knee to the chin as you let go with your hand and squeeze. Good. And release. Good. Left leg. Pull the knee to the chest. And then gently roll up, so the shoulders on the knee, you've got the chin on the inside. And then you want to lift the right foot to the toes as high as the other toe. And then lock that in, chin to knee and hold. And release. Good. Last one. And that was a banging core session. So lay down flat, come into a dish, here. Good. Now without the lower back leaving or the ribs flaring, keep the left leg straight in the right knee and touch your chin. 1. Release. 2. Release. 3. Release. 4. Release. 5. Dish. Up. Good. Quick hip release. Left leg, last one. Into a dish, again, thumbs in posterior tilt, ribs are in, left knee, tap. 1, dish, knee to chin, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. Flip over onto all fours. Now cat and cow. Oh, yeah, good. So cat and cow, roll the hips in circles. Just free up the belly, the rectus abdominis. Yep, then hop into child's pose. And then child's pose, cat pose, up dog. So a bit of a deeper stretch into the belly. And again, child's pose, cat pose, up dog. Glorious. Amazing. Well, I do believe that's brought us to another end of another day, another session. This is really beautiful. Thank you so much again for coming. Love you guys. Let's keep spreading the word, spreading the love about this community.